You scared? You suicidal? Only in the morning.
Hello, it's June 2025. Now, for this particular video, I'm going to be including the date and the time. And I'm doing this for a reason. So today is the 27th, and the time is around 1:50 p.m. And this video is inspired by some events that have been taking place recently in my life, where I am, and the last event type happened maybe about half an hour ago, and it's really, as a descriptive, is having me concerned because I really don't know what is going on, why, or anything else. Now, before I get into this video, I'm just going to go over some of my career history, so maybe you have an idea of where I'm coming from and my experience with this type of thing. So in the 90s, one of the things I did do was personal and private security, and in the 2000s, during law and stuff, I used to do process serving, where I had the status of a peace officer, and a lot of that entailed surveillance and perhaps like following people, etc., to be successful with the serve. And it even entailed me dressing up as a character when I approached the door, trying to fish for information and everything else. So just kind of giving a little rundown of my career history so you have an idea of where I'm coming from with what I'm going to talk about. Now, I'm just going to segue for a moment. When everything was happening, for example, in Calgary, Alberta, around 2012, 2013 and onward, a lot of strange things were happening in my life. A lot of it I really didn't talk about. Some of it I've mentioned, and some of it I have proof of. So based on my personal experience as well, perhaps you're going to start to be able to understand what I'm about to say much better. So there's maybe about, I'm going to guess without actually looking at anything prior to making this video, say about a month ago, one location where I frequent, there was a police officer who showed up and very specifically, very directly started asking some questions about me personally. And the questions that were being asked were very specific, not just some random questions about, for example, my vehicle or anything else. There was some phishing going on, and they were very concerned, or asking, not concerned, but asking about, for example, my mental health for some reason. Now, why that would happen, I don't know. So I made a mental note of it and got whatever evidence that I was able to get from that and just carried on. And then comes, for example, where one of the places where I sleep, noticing police cars stopping on the road behind me, sitting there for a minute or two, maybe running CPIC or whatever, who knows, and then driving away. Now again, it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. File that information away with along whatever evidence that I have. Now, what's really has me talking about it now is the fact that I was approached by an officer. I was parked at a Tim Hortons, one that I go to often enough, and I had seen a police car come around, and he parked right beside me, and I was talking on the phone at the time, so I, wasn't really paying attention. Not that I would if I wasn't, but, and then I just noticed out of the corner of my eye, he came to my passenger window, kind of tapped on the window, and asked me about if I bought my vehicle locally and if I had a diesel heater. And then he wanted to come around to the driver's side, and I said, well, listen, I'm just on the phone. So, and he said, well, yeah, there's no infractions or anything. I said, okay, that's fine, I'm just on the phone. And he went back to his car, sat. It appeared what he was doing was taking some notes, and eventually just drove away. So he deliberately pulled in to the location and left the location with no intent, for example, of making a purchase, just to talk to me. Now, you can see how things are kind of escalating, which is telling me there's something possibly going on behind the scenes, just like, for example, in Calgary, Alberta. And I have no idea what's going on. The fact that the questions have to deal with my mental state is bizarre, because there's nothing, for example, that I've stated in my videos that would, well, maybe for some people, it's crazy talk, whatever, I don't care. But I have no idea what's going on. So, like I did, for example, in 2012, 2013, I'm making a video just sharing these, we'll call them experiences, for whatever they're worth. Are they connected? I don't know. I don't have enough information to make a properly informed conclusion. However, there does seem to be a pattern. And now that contact has been made with me, what is the next thing that may happen? It's anyone's guess. So take what you will from this. Is it connected to Alberta? I have no idea. Definitely they would have run CPIC, checked my plates, seen the 2 wrongful convictions, assume that they're proper convictions, and whatever else, other nonsense that Calgary had put on CPIC about me that I have no idea about, could just be based on all that. And there's nothing I can do about it. But if uninformed conclusions are being made about me, this wouldn't end well for me, let's just say, one way or another. I'm not saying I'm applying anything, I'm just sharing what I know. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
The most important thing that you can do to make sure that you don't get sent to the psychiatric hospital on involuntary detention is to make sure a family member comes along with you. This is good for all sorts of reasons. So you want to have a parent come by, your spouse, a sibling, all of that's great. Friend is okay as well, but it's less good.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people say, when is it going to get easier? When you die.